Hello everyone, welcome to Style Esports Season 9 on this spooky Halloween night. My name is Shin Scary. I have replaced Shinkari for this evening, and I am going to be your spooky commentator for play-by-play. Tonight we have two incredible teams, ready to duke it out on Summoner's Rift. Team Takeover up against Lionel Esports 2, and with me this evening is RareAdam. RareAdam, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Yes, of course, Spooky Adam is here with his spooky voice.
Yes. If you want, I can go deeper. Team Takeover versus Lionel Esport 2. We've got a bunch of bands out of the way. Yone, Lulu, and Zack, the spookiest man. And Lionel Esport not trying to get scared by the most assassins of assassins, Zed, Kane, and Yumi?
Yes, everyone knows the scariest killers of all are cats. Haven't you seen one bring a dead bird to your feet?
Yes.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on.
I'm gonna turn it on. Is it off now? I can't tell. Hello? Yeah, we good? All right. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Style Esports Season 9. Yeah, we're getting into the final weeks here for some of these folks, and some folks are trying to squeeze in those last games before we get into playoffs. And yeah, Team Takeover here, locking in the Lux, is very, very strong recently, has a whole lot of success in the mid lane, and also can be played support as well. But you know, Lionel Esports is looking for the downhole faithful, the misfortune Leona.
Yeah, the sort of wombo combo or extraordinaire down on that bot side, but Team Takeover already going to be flexing that Lux to the mid lane. We have seen a lot of really strong Lux gameplay come through in the last couple of games we've casted Shinkari. Lux really strong right now, actually. A lot of IELO players are pretty high on her right now.
Yeah, I mean, the buffs to her E were pretty good. And on top of that as well, they look pretty good. And it's definitely looking, she's definitely looking fairly good across like the multiple roles that I've seen her played. She can still flex into the support role if she wants to, but has been seeing a lot of success in the mid lane. Seraphine locking in as well means that these two are still going to be up in the air for what position they are going to be in, but regardless of which one they're in, Lionel Esports is answering with Annie.
And more likely than not, it's going to be the Seraphine going to the bot side. It gives you a little bit of easier utility than the Lux. Seraphine has a pretty straightforward route to land on Leona. Lux, of course, has the same sort of straightforward route, but her shield is a little bit more conditional. You actually have to aim it, whereas Seraphine just kind of sits there, and Ultimate a little bit more useful on top of that Caitlyn, because you can charm them.
Oh, you got to be in range
roots.
of the
Okay, you have to be in range with a shield, but realistically, Seraphine range is pretty massive on that.
Yeah. That's the that's the joke I was going for.
But thus the Annie coming through is a pretty good answer into that Lux, because you can match that range. Of course, Annie having 625 range means that you're going to be getting all of those auto attack harass down, as well with your incinerate. Pretty easy to farm up with those and land some combos onto Lux, because you are far enough away that you have more than enough time to react to that light binding.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me here is that with either support here, I'm really looking for Caitlyn to really try to extend a lot of these snares that they're going to be using by putting the traps as well. It does mean that Lux might have to max binding first, which isn't exactly ideal, but isn't the worst thing for the Lux. I feel like Lux has a bunch of very good, very, very good abilities to max, and it never feels bad to max one. I feel like even maxing shield sometimes even feels good if you're a support Lux.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times you want to see, especially with the new buffs to her E, the Lucent Singularity, you want to max that first. That's why she's getting picked up in that mid lane and why she has risen in priority, period. But wow, okay, we had ourselves a boss girl comp coming through. But I think that Kled's the auto pick. We'll find out. Kled is Riven. So
Kled is Riven.
We do have a boss girl comp still for Team Takeover plus the Trundle. So
yeah, plus Trundle.
Trundle's just wearing a disguise.
We're having a girls' night. Why is Trundle here? Ugh, my mom said I had to invite my cousin.
That could go in a lot of different ways, but regardless.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck you're taking it, friend. Sheesh.
No, I mean...
All right. Volibear being locked in for Lionel Esports here, and Shen as well. I'm just predicting that's going to be a Volibear jungle and a Shen in the top lane.
Yeah, I think that Shen will slot in against that Kled by the looks of it, or against the Riven, sorry, by the looks of it, and Volibear going to be picked up in that jungle versus the Trundle. Some interesting matchup, in my opinion, there, because there's a little bit of nuance, I dare say, in terms of that jungle fighting. Both of them are surprisingly strong early on, but if they're both surprisingly strong, that means they are equally as strong and not surprising at all, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fairly interesting. I mean, the Shen is going to have a little bit of a harder time. It's going to have a little bit of a harder time up in that top lane just because the shield isn't going to protect you from most of the damage that Riven is going to be doing. Obviously, her empowered auto attacks are going to be blocked, but I feel like if you're Riven, you could just store, even though it's a little bit inefficient, you can just store that powered up auto attack until after the dome is done, and then hit Shen with your empowered auto. I could be wrong.
No, I think that the biggest thing about Shen in this matchup is that is not.
Hello.
What is going on? That's a Lee Sin that just got locked in.
Yeah, that's a Lee Sin. What? Hello. Y'all, come on.
We got this. I think
we got this. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're just gonna. We'll throw it back to the in between screen. Oops.
Yeah, just a little bit of an oops there.
A little bit of an oopsie.
Yeah, what happened there, I think, is they picked the champion they were supposed to ban fourth. It does happen.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us, happens to the worst of us, but should be good to go here as, yep, we're getting back into it. Oh, it's going to play the entire stinger too. Okay.
Okay, I'm really rooting for the teams here to really get through this picks and bans. Really, just, this is the hardest part of League of Legends that a lot of people say. But you know what? We're getting in there fairly well so far. So I think we should be fine.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We'll make it through this.
Yeah.
We will persevere on, but regardless.
Will we make it? Hold my hand.
Oh, here we go.
Hold my hand.
We need to see that lock. You can do it. You can do it.
Thank you.
There
we can make it through this.
Let's go. We did it.
There, we did it.
Yeah. Woo, Riven's locked in. Okay. That was the scariest part of that game. Just the pressure was on, but no, Riven.
The pressure was on, but you know what? They didn't crack underneath the pressure. So honestly, hats off to them for real.
Yeah, Riven should have a pretty fun time against the Shen overall. Shen does have a lot of early damage, but Trundle, who should be putting some priority up on this top side here, will be pretty strong into that Shen, first of all, because you can pillar that Shadow Dash away. Second of all, because Shen only has one dash. Riven has 4, at least.
Yes.
Not counting her flash or whatever. So Trundle, will be able to chase down the Shen along with Riven's help. So I think that Ramley's got to be really careful up on this top side, and Kekje will be having to look to potentially make the proactive play here, or look for counter ganks as well.
So now the question to me becomes, what? Because I haven't seen a whole lot of Riven, and conceptually, it seems like Riven can just build nearly whatever mythic she wants, maybe favoring the Gore Drinker. What are your thoughts here? What is your knowledge about the Riven build path here in the top lane?
Yeah, so Riven has there's some champions that prioritize AD, there's some that prioritize AP, attack speed, crit chance, all of that stuff. Riven prioritizes ability haste. That is her most important stat. You want to be able to get those cooldowns up as often as possible. You want to be able to chase down people like this Shen, and the more ability haste you have, the more you can sort of spam that out to an extent. As a good lore hover from Fem there, hovering that Skarner. But yes, so Riven wants to try and chase down these members as much as possible. The main thing about Corey is you've got to make sure that you are strong on this Riven if you want to take over a game, as Team Takeover's name may suggest. The issue is if you fall behind on Riven, you're so useless. You are if a Riven is underfed, she does no damage, and she melts like a stick of butter. So it is a very volatile champion. It is feast or famine, as the world's casters love to say about Kana's Yasuo top. But
new buzzword.
It was the new buzzword, feast or famine. Riven is definitely the epitome of that champion.
Yeah, I feel like in the caster scene that is just something we like to throw on. It's like, oh my god, is that the new buzzword? Oh my god, yes. Have you seen this? Oh my god.
I know.
It's feast or famine. Oh my god, that's so good.
We tried to make, or I tried to at least to make. What is it? I tried to make a temperature a buzzword. It didn't work out so well. I'm still working towards that, but
lukewarm.
Yeah, sometimes a comp is just real chilly, You gotta, when you're freezing top lane and stuff, that lane is cold, but when you've got yourself an Annie in that mid lane with all that fire that she's got behind her, that's gonna be a hot lane, because Lux on the other side as well, light is quite warm temperature-wise, so high temperature mid lane. And pretty cold jungle, I dare say.
Yeah, the freezing if you will.
Absolutely zero. No Nunu, but there is gonna be an ice pillar.
I mean, it's an ice troll and a god of the Freljord, right? I don't think you can get colder than that, right?
Lysandra?
Sure. You would have to replace Trundle with Lysandra.
You'd have to play Lysandra jungle. That's probably the worst part about it.
Yeah, I mean, if she got the magic number change, she would definitely be a good jungler, I think.
Yeah, doesn't that go
well,
for
it's such a good
though?
gank tool. That would be pretty good, don't you think?
I think
good for kiting as well.
Bad.
Good clears.
The clear would be interesting, because the magic number change would have to be like mad on her cooldowns, and it would just be like, why don't you just pick her mid lane then?
Because you can gank top without having to leave mid.
No, we're not.
There's no opposing mid laner to shove in your tower if you're the jungler.
There's just an enemy jungler to steal all of your jungle and then maybe kill you anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because she's still safe, right? She presses W and walks away.
Sure.
We'll
go with that.
This Caitlyn is going to have a little bit of an easier time in the spot lane, especially being able to get away from that Leona and having that additional range as well. One of the longest attack ranges in the game is going to make sure that she's playing pretty safe in the spot lane. I'm just looking for Fem to really just kind of roam around the map a whole lot, because that's basically what I've seen from a lot of Leonas here. And Seraphine, I don't know if I'm going to see the same amount of roaming, but if we do see Seraphine staying in the spot lane, I hope that Iona and SEL here are going to be really making sure that they put a whole lot of damage into Misfortune. But we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of Team Takeover versus Lionel Esports 2 for this spooky game of League of Legends. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Style Esports Season 9. My name is Shin Scary here with RareAdam, and we're on the rift of the game between Team Takeover and Lionel Esports number 2. Team Takeover's on the blue side, Lionel Esports 2 is on the red, and we're ready to get this spooky game of League of Legends on the way, ready to go for y'all to watch. We have a 5-point start.
Yeah, 5-point start coming through from the team with a little bit of a stronger level 1. KekJ gonna check here, though.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to be inside there. That's a whole lot of damage coming out from Trundle early on, and Ramley up here is also going to find out Corey. Let's see if they can get just a little bit more damage. Just oh my god, they almost take out Kekja there. He also flashed. That's pretty huge, level 1.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn off my voice changer so people don't have to listen to me doing play-by-play later with that. Hello, I'm back. Shinkari's back.
Scary had to go get his laundry or something. He had to go pick up his cat from the dentist. As yeah, I mean this is great because now
Scary's on again. No.
Oh, wait, are you talking about it? Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. That's really weird.
There we go. We are.
Oh, you want to know what? Hold on. I have to.
Oh.
Fuck. Yeah, we have some fighting up in the top lane here. Ori walking the L here, walking away. Yeah, sometimes it'll be like, oh, you're in this program, so you want to use this, right? No, don't.
No, I just want to talk about that level 1 play a little bit too, though. Kekja did face check that bush. Spooky and Yaya tried to look for that kill. Unfortunately, neither of them were able to land that decisive auto attack onto Kekja. Did flash as well, but it is 2 flashes for 1. Meanwhile, up on the top side, Riven did burn her health potion early level 1 in that little trade. Romley has also popped that health potion, but has that wave pushing into them, so they should be feeling pretty safe in this lane, whereas Riven a little bit on the outskirts and down the health, actually, in this lane.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about that level 1 change right there is that Trundle is able to get such a big lead in this jungle right now, and now we take a look, they're ahead in CS just a little bit. Their timing is just a little bit better over the Volibear, which is gonna make getting these crabs a little bit easier as well, and also ganking this mid lane. But looks like they're gonna be spotted out by a ward, so I don't think they're gonna get a gank off anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that a lot of these potential openings for ganks, they're going to be once some of these laners get to level 4, level 5, maybe even that level 6 mark, as opposed to early on into these laning phases. Because looking at how this bot lane is going, the one lane where you have that gank set up for Kekja, he's on the opposite side of right now. Whereas on the flip side, for this Trundle, you have to try and find a light binding, some sort of proactive plan to Talia Mosolami, but they're looking.
Yeah, that's going to be the flash coming down from Annie here. I think you take that every day of the week. They're going to be backing up out of there and going back into the jungle. And, I said before that Trundle got a pretty sizable advantage off of that level 1, but it's now starting to... even while I was saying it, Volibear was catching up and has caught up and is now about even with Trundle. So I guess that's also because Trundle didn't get a leash exactly on the blue buff, so had to just go a little bit slower, but, you hate to see it.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate to say the least for the Annie. She did have to burn that flash there, but in the end, Volibear has been able to catch back up and farm, and Trundle has a faster clear than Volibear, so not bad for this big bear to pick up that Sheen, as well as those 2 control wards, and might be looking towards this bot lane, which is what I was talking about in terms of that lane to gank, and Aunt Lamont's Lover as well as Femme should have enough lockdown on top of this Volibear if they can get it on the Seraphine. I don't know if they actually kill the Caitlyn because she's going to be so far back.
Yeah, it's going to be actually really tough to get on top of this Caitlyn for sure. Like I said, real long auto attack range doesn't really have to play super close to the minion wave as well. So Fama has to play super far forward if she wants to, or if they want to really get this engage onto Caitlyn and really set up the gang for Volibear. So I like this play instead, and Volibear is going to be starting up the dragon here, it looks like. Yeah, okay, no, he's just placing a ward and backing out. Okay, he's making his way towards bot. You were right.
Yeah, he's going to try and look for the play, but the lanes just got pushed out a little bit too much. I think Volibear just runs straight down there instead of picking up that Gromp first, and should be able to find the play off the back end of that, but opted to ward up that dragon. Might just opt to start it here. Top lane, so much fighting, though. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Corey really doing a decent chunk of damage here, and this is really how Riven can get ahead in the lane. It's just mostly timing your burst window with Riven with Shen's shield is now spooky. It's coming in. That's going to be the troll pillar, putting them up just a little bit farther back, and I have to use that dash in order to get away. Spooky's still looking for a little bit more damage. They can't quite find it. Ramley is going to get out of there without needing to spend their flash, which is very important. They're going to stay alive in this lane just a little bit longer. The red team, meanwhile, is going to say, hey, that's a jungler in the top lane, which means the easiest dragon on the planet.
Yeah, they're able to... Kekja was starting that up, not knowing where Trundle was. Once they show top, it's like, okay, we can move someone up. And this lane's actually frozen against the side of Iona and SL. SCL. We're going to have to work on those this game.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on these. Yeah.
It's slightly frozen, but the thing is, it's so hard to freeze against Caitlyn because she has so much range. Fem wasn't standing behind the minions there, looking, threatening an engage. But Kekja is here. They should spot this out. SL going the wrong way.
Yeah, SEL is going to get caught in the middle of 3 here. Iona not really going to be able to do a whole lot about it here. Just going to do some return damages. That's going to be Surfing just fading away. Is that really her die animation?
Yeah.
Huh.
She just kind of dies.
Yeah, she just ceases to exist. It's just like...
It might just be because of... Oh, we can't see it now. Never mind. It might have been where she died, because she kind of died in the wall. Might have just been a POV. Who knows? Open up League Director. We'll rotate that around. If only my computer worked with League Director properly, I would totally abuse the crap out of that. And for
I don't know. It looked like she just kind of like knelt down and then like disappeared. Like slowly disappeared.
It became
like a Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good. It's been long enough. I can make those jokes now without them being like spoilers.
Oh yeah, I feel like everyone was mad about Endgame spoilers for like months afterward. It was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It's a pretty emotional moment, and like. It's a pretty emotional moment, and also like people were like memeing on it like every day on Twitter. Like every day on Twitter was being memed on.
Yes. You want to hear something crazy? I haven't.
Okay, I want to hear something crazy. You didn't watch it, or you didn't like it?
I haven't watched the movie, just the full movie, because it came out. How long? It was like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, that sounds right.
It was like when it was near the end of my first year of university, and I was just so broke that I couldn't go to the movies.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds about right.
And then I just never got around to watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I catch up on a lot of movies on planes. You ever go somewhere on a plane? That's where you can catch up on a lot of movies.
Yeah, yeah. Top side, Corey.
Yeah, there's an ultimate. Yeah, Corey's looking for the kill here. Might be able to find it. Taking him incredibly low. Going to use that blade beam. Not going to be able to get it that time, but you know, gonna be taken pretty close. Is it Wave Slash? Is that what it is? Oh, it's Blade of the Exile. Oh no,
Blade of the Exile. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the react? Is the recast? Is that like a different ability?
I think a lot of those are. I think it's Wind Slash.
Okay, I usually, honestly, like, I just make Final Fantasy references whenever she does that, so,
yeah,
close enough.
She kind of goes into a limit there.
Yeah. That's going to be Corey throwing down. Ooh, that's going to be a Stand United and a Pillar as well. That's going to be a Lux ultimate coming across, picking up the kill. Lux is going to grab themselves an assist. Shen was a little late. The cast did not complete, but Fem in the bot lane looking for the engage. That's going to be the Misfortune ultimate coming down on top as well. And that's going to be Aoyana going down. And Lamon's Lover is now going to be able to look for the second kill in the bot lane. And Seraphine's going to go down as Corey is also going to be in some trouble here. Here comes Talia here in from the side. Can they land the stun? Flash stun. There's Tibbers. There's a tower, a pillar, but it's not going to be able to stop them this time. Flash forward actually looking for Ramley this time. Going to be taunted up inside the Shen zone. Going to block a lot of that auto attack damage. Spooky taking incredibly low, and Annie is going to be the one picking up the kill this time in the top lane.
Yeah, just across the map, big wins for the side of Lionel Esport 2. They're able to pick up 2 on the bot side, 2 on the top side there, and Yaya just not rotating up in time. Was able to get that final spark onto the Volibear at the offset of that play, but didn't rotate up afterwards, and that really cost Spooky and Corey on the top side there. They were in a numbers disadvantage, and unfortunately, they do pay the price.
Yeah, and I do want to notice something. I do want something noted really quick is that, you know, we did talk about Lux buffs recent in picks and bans, but one of the biggest ones I think is that the reduction of Lux's ultimate at level 1. It's 60 seconds base. Lux used her ultimate top lane and now has it back again, and she had it back before she backed there. So now she has a pretty big ultimate lined up ready to go. She could use it right now and then have it up for a dragon fight probably.
Yeah, it is 50 seconds cooldown right now, which is pretty strong. That was one of the major things as well. I mean, the last time that Lux had ult up this often was when it reset on kills and assists, I believed. For a while, I think it was either
I think the
that
cooldown is still reduced if you kill someone with it.
I don't think so. I know they changed it at some point. I'm gonna check this now. I gotta check this because
but this is gonna be a whole bunch of bursts of damage onto Talia here. They're taking incredibly low. Trundle's gonna be the one picking up the kill here, but it's a 3v2 right now. Make that a 3v1 as Yaya is gonna be taken out of the fight. Not really gonna do anything, but here comes Corey looking for Fem here. Gonna get some damage here, but the stun is gonna keep them away from them just a little bit longer now as both teams continue to jockey for position for the second dragon here.
Yeah, just really strong play coming through. Honestly, good to see out of the side of Team Takeover because they're just able to sort of turn tail and pick one up on the back end of that, at least get the shutdown on that Annie. But Trundle being down means they can't start that dragon up, and because you don't have Annie, one of your main team fight setups, at least for Entlemon's Lover, you don't really want to take that fight. So everyone's going to be back in this play. Shen will have Stand United up and available, though, as well.
Yeah, and that's really important because Corey won't be able to match the teleport from Shen. That's the biggest thing right now. Corey will have to, if they want to contest this Drake, we'll have to walk all the way down, right? The only real thing I feel like they could do is just really pressure this top lane turret, but you know, Riven doesn't take turrets as well as some other folks, so she might be able to get a couple plates, but I feel like that's it. And yeah, we'll just have to see. I think, yeah, Annie's already in position, but Spooky's looking for an engage, gonna get stunned up. Here comes Yaya. This is gonna be the Zenith Blade engage. This is gonna be the bullet time as well. There's gonna be the ultimate coming down, finding 2 for the charm, but not a whole lot of follow-up as well. As Aoyana gonna shoot out that headshot, but it's just a whole bunch of pot shots right now at the inside. That's gonna be a whole bunch of damage. Final spark. Not gonna be picking up the kill, but doing a whole bunch of damage down in that dragon pit as Ramley stuck in this top lane up against Corey. Might be able to 1v1. Blue team finally pops that Rift Herald. And no, neither team has gotten the dragon yet.
Yeah, no one has been able to pick that up, but the Rift Herald on this bot side should sort of secure it for the side of Team Takeover. Unfortunately, Antimon's Lover there, with the Gale Force as the option, not going lethality, means that ultimate doesn't do as much damage early on, will scale up well into the later stages when you get the likes of an Infinity Edge, and Misfortune will just do a whole bunch of damage. But for the time being, you know, Misfortune going to be lacking a little bit in the ultimate damage department specifically, so we'll have to keep our eye on if that ends up impacting it. Also, double-checked when Lux did stop getting that sort of reset on her ultimate. That was patch 9.14, so almost 2 years ago was the last time. Yeah, it seems ridiculous to me, but I am also looking at when it initially happened.
I feel like relatively close by to that, because I remember talking about like, oh yeah, with Ultimate Hunter and Transcendence, you like actually this ability just doesn't have a cooldown. You can just keep firing it off.
I'm looking at it right now because I'm curious. Patch 7.7. This is how long we've been playing this game, Shinkari. Patch 7.7. If Final Spark kills an enemy champion 10 to 30 to 10/30/50 as cooldown was refunded, it was increased further on patch 8.7. So just the 7 patches are when they hit Lux, 7.7, 8.7, 9.7, and then this one, 11.21. It was a multiple of 7, regardless.
Yeah, that's a multiple of 7. Yeah. No, that's points. That's points. That counts.
They get it.
Yeah. Multiples of 7. That's when Lux is gonna see her most amount of buffs. When season 14 happens, we're gonna see just too many buffs for Lux. That's what's gonna happen in season 14.
I mean, they did also nerf her on 7 patches, on 7s, so it might just be constant, like, buff nerf the entire season. But, anyways, as it stands right now, Yaya's doing quite well. Is actually dead even in items with this Annie, despite her having that extra kill. Up a little bit in experience as well, so this Lux is feeling pretty good. She's going to have that lower ultimate cooldown now again. But across the map, it's still just a little bit... It's in a little bit of a stalemate situation, because Second Herald just went over to the side of Team Takeover. Fem's looking.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be the Zenith Blade and the Solar Flare. Seraphine is going to go down easy peasy. Aeon is going to be able to kite this out for just a little bit longer, but here comes a TP in from Riven. They're looking for Antilominous Lover here, as that's going to be the Standing Knight coming across. Can they find the last bit of damage? No, they can't. They're going to be taunted up here, as they're going to try to turn this around onto Fem, maybe. That's going to be the W coming across from Leona, finally exploding as Corey's going to be able to find 1 kill. We have a teleport coming in from Annie from the base here. It's a 4v2 right now. That's a whole bunch of burst damage. Annie's finally able to take the kill onto Corey, but they're able to find a 1-for-1 in that bot lane at the end of that. And at the end of the day, I believe it's a 2-for-2.
Yeah, it was a 2-for-2 overall in that fight. Misfortune does save her shutdown. She was actually only able to get out because of the Gale Force, which is kind of interesting because I was kind of trash talking it earlier, but ends up working out. But they're going to lose first tower here with the Second Herald.
Yeah, and I think... Yeah, I don't think I like the Gale Force really either. But you know what? If it does what you need it to do, then I feel like you're fine, right? I just, okay. Shelly's not going to be able to charge. Regardless, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Gale Force on Misfortune. Yeah. It's just like... The crit Misfortune build is good when you're building Kraken Slayer, and even if Kraken Slayer might not be good against the enemy team, it's then just go Eclipse, like you put all of your eggs in one basket into the ultimate, but it's still just like if the enemy team isn't tanky enough, then like going lethality is gonna just net you a whole lot more damage.
Yeah, it's gonna get you a lot more in the end. We're gonna see the Misfortune go for a Collector now, which it's interesting. There's the big debate whether Collector is even worth it when Lord Dominix exists in the game and when Misfortune has such low base health to begin with. But I mean, she is 5-0. Getting a Collector here isn't the worst idea because it just means you're confirming kills a little bit earlier with your ultimate, meaning that you can maybe save 1 wave or something like that. It could end up meaning something. I still like the LDR better, but regardless, I think that this Misfortune right now is going to be a driving force behind Lionel Esports 2, and really it's the rest of the map that's falling behind a little bit. This Lux now is actually ahead in actually even in gold, but top side here, 1,000 gold difference between.
Ooh, there it is.
Yeah,
I was going to be able to pick up an easy kill on Annie there, just outside of all of Annie's ranges, as now Kekcha might be in some trouble. Blast cone over the wall. Corey doesn't quite land it, but going to stun Kekcha over the wall here. That's going to be Seraphine ultimate. Not landing onto anyone, though. Comes up just a little bit short. Corey's going to have to dash away, but that's going to be the ultimate from Volibear and the bullet time as well. Ayana's looking for a little bit more, but just going to try to zone Misfortune out of the fight as they're looking for Fem right now. But I don't think they're going to be able to do so as Lux is soloing out the dragon. What?
Yeah, Lux just able to take down that dragon alone. Interesting. Yes.
I could have sworn I saw Trundle there, but I guess not.
Yeah, Trundle just wasn't in the area.
Huh.
Odd.
Yeah, Trundle was doing something. I'm not saying this because like, oh, what is Trundle doing? Ha ha ha. It's just because like I'm more of like, how is Lux soloing the Drake when I could have sworn Trundle was there too? That's more of what I'm saying. I could have sworn Trundle was there.
I don't know.
Trundle was also like moving away from Dragon Pit after they had finished Drake.
Yeah, Lux is just so broken she can solo dragon apparently, or
Yeah, I guess so.
she makes us think differently. But looking at some more items that are built up, of course, a Gore Drinker on the Riven, no surprise. Divine Sunder on the Trundle, no surprise. Divine Sunder on the Volibear, not really surprised there. The real surprise here for me is the Ludens on the Seraphine, opting for a little bit more of a damage build as opposed to just continuing to stack up the power of the Guardian, the power of all of her shields with something like a Moonstone Renewer. So interested to see why the Ludens here. You don't really need the damage, and I think that you get more out of those Enchantress items at this point, especially when you're already behind.
Yeah, and even folks who build mid Seraphine don't go for the Ludens. Oh my god. Yeah, that was an amount of damage. Sure. I wonder how much of it is the Hextech Alternator, because that item just gives you so much. Oh my god, that item just gives you like so much raw damage, like by itself.
Yes,
it's so good. But I mean, it's mostly the magic pen boots and the the Ludens and the needlessly large rod is. Oh no, yeah. Oh no. Couldn't have Trundle sweep the bush for you. Too far away. Gonna be standing on top of a ward and immediately burst it out there. That's gotta feels bad.
Yeah, a little bit feels bad, but we'll have to see what the next move is as they continue pushing forward. Oh,
that's the Seraphine ultimate coming across on a Fem here. Not really gonna be able to do a whole lot of follow-up there, but it does clear out the wave, and it does scare them off of the mid lane turret. Meanwhile, in the top lane, there's going to be Trundle helping push down that outer top. So that is the second turret picked up by the blue squad here, and or the third rather, and it does continue to open up more of the map to them as well. They just need to be making more use of their space. Now that they have this mid and top turret down, advance your vision into the enemy's jungle. Make sure that you know when they're going to show up and not when they've shown up.
And it's really surprising to see Team Takeover like having this much control over the map, considering their lanes weren't doing so well, especially bot side. Oh.
Yeah, Corey's now over the wall. There's going to be the Volibear ultimate coming across. There's going to be the stun trying to quell some of the damage. Not going to be able to do so. That's going to be a Solar Flare coming across. Spooky's in a whole lot of trouble here. Not going to get that movement speed bonus anymore, which means Kekja can catch up, and Kekja can find the kill. That's going to be a 2 for 0 up in the top lane.
Yeah, and I think that this could be the Baron started up. Antlemon's Lover here with, the crit build means you actually deal a decent amount of damage to Baron because you have more attack speed. You get more auto attacks down, so it's death by 100 cuts as opposed to death by 10 cuts, but they take forever to get those cuts across. They're going to go for an engage, though.
Yeah, that's going to be Caitlyn caught out here, looking to try to kite away. Lux is finally in the party here, and they might look to do just a little bit more damage. They peeled off the Baron for a moment, but it didn't reset. Yaya does have the final spark, and if they can get some decent vision inside the pit, they might be able to do something fairly well here. They're over the wall. They're looking for something. Ace in the hole comes across. Fem's going to pop that. That's a double kill for the Lux now as Corey looking to taste down Kekja here, looking for a little bit of revenge, but here's a repeat performance. 3 versus 1. Corey's in some trouble. Gonna have to hippity-hoppity away from that end of the map. There's the Blade Beam coming across, but not gonna be able to do a whole lot this time. It's just called Blade of the Exiles, not called Wind Slash.
Sag. That's a missed opportunity by Riot to get a little bit of a rip onto Square Enix, and I think after 20 years, you think you could maybe slide it in there somehow, but if
Blade Beam, Wave Slash, Clim Hazard. I don't know, something. Throw me a bone here.
yeah, come on. I don't know. Give us Limit Break as the ultimate. If Cloud can get in Smash, oh no, Kekja.
Okay, Kekja's going to be snared up here. Going to have to use that ultimate to hop over the wall. And you really hate to see it at this point, but honestly, I think you trade your ultimate for your life every day of the week if it means not going down to this Lux and giving more gold to this Lux. She's got a Horizon focus. This Lux is going to hurt a lot.
Yes, Lux hurts a lot. This is the power of her buffs in a lot of ways. She just got a ridiculous amount of extra damage now, and she's really taking advantage of that, and she's really taken over for Team Takeover against Lionel here, and despite still being down a kill throughout this entire time, they've just had so much control of these lanes, although there is a big influx of gold coming, maybe right here.
Yeah, that's going to be two. Oh, huge save by Seraphine there. Going to allow Lux to peel away, but Iona's now in some trouble here. Going to use the Gale Force to peel back, and this might be the re-engage that they're looking for. Final Spark comes across, going to be able to pick up the kill on the Volley Bear here. Now, Fem is in some trouble, taking incredibly low. Summoner Heal's going to come across, but I don't know if it's going to save them this time. 3 people turn around and going to look for the kill here. Corey chasing down Antlemon's Lover here, but they're not going to be able to find him this time. Romley still waiting in the corner. Lux is now backing, and they're starting up Baron.
Yeah, unfortunately, Antlemon's Lover not able to find the kill onto Lux with that bullet time, meaning you don't have it for the second half of that fight. Ends up costing the side of Lionel Esport. While they get 2 towers on this bot side, they can't even look to contest this Baron because this Shen, this Misfortune, don't have enough in the tank. They're going to pick up some of the standing gold on the map, so to even up that gold before Baron's taken down, but at the end of it, Baron going over to the side of Team Takeover, and they're also on Soul Point, so neutral objectives have been going great for TT here.
Yeah, and really doing a good job for sure. And I like this play coming out from Lionel Esports too. It's the best thing to do while you know the entire enemy team is on Baron. You know Lux is resetting. You know the rest of the members are going to be on Baron. Take towers on the map. They're basically free. It's free real estate. Just go up and grab them. That's exactly what they did. They're going to put some gold in some pockets to make sure that this Baron power play doesn't make the lead insurmountable, right? We're at 26 and a half. We're nearly 27 minutes into this game. The gold lead is only about 1,000 and some change. Like, it's just a little under 2,000, which isn't the end of the world at this stage of the game, honestly.
Yeah, and it's not the end of the world. It's just still a little bit difficult to find those openings that they need at the right time. So really curious to see how they're able to stave this off, because this game is still within reach for the side of Lionel Esport. They just need to find that dream team fight.
Yeah, it's just Talia right now running in. I think they activated Predator right there, maybe to gain some movement speed, maybe to get back to their team. But, you know, I thought for certain that was going to be an Annie flash over the wall with Tibbers.
Yeah, you know, just waiting for the right time. Didn't get the stun on that, but Antlemon Lover was also rooted up. You can see how much damage this Lux is doing as... Oh!
Yeah, this might be the go button that they're looking for here with Final Spark down. That's a flash forward. There's Tibbers. There's a whole bunch of burst damage. Ramley is coming in for the backside. That's going to be an interrupt onto the bullet time here. Corey is in the middle of the squad right here. It's a 1 for 3 so far. The blue team is coming out on top. They thought that this was a good time to fight, but in actuality, it was not even close. 4.5 thousand gold in the lead with nearly every team member down. The blue team is going to push into the red squad's base and end the game.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick that one up, and it just looks so even for so long until Team Takeover decided, now we're going to end this game. And this Lux, 8-1-6, really showing why Lux is starting to become quite the power pick in that mid lane.
Yeah, so much damage, and she only had 2 items as well. Like, I don't think anyone was even remotely prepared for the amount of damage that Lux was going to do, because no one was building MR, really. Like, the most amount of magic resist on the enemy team was the Volley Bear with a Spectre's Cowl and Merc Treads. Everyone else who was building resistances was itemizing towards armor, right? There's a Thorn Mail for the Shen, there's a Sunfire Aegis and plated steel caps. I feel like everyone really underestimated the amount of damage that Lux could do here, and I think going into the next game, that might just be an auto ban.
Yeah, Lux is really strong right now, and I think that, especially since a lot of high elo players have been touting her as one of the best mid laners right now, and she's not too hard to play, you know, it's pretty straightforward for them to sort of pick themselves up some easy victories. And if the side of Lionel Esport don't want to band that out or don't want to pick it themselves, then I feel like TT are going to pick that one up every single time.
Yeah, for sure. But we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be in picks and bans of game number 2 of Team Takedown versus Lionel Esports 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season number 9. My name is Shinkari, and I'm joined by RareAdam. And tonight, for Halloween, we have 2 teams ready to go. And so ready that we're already in game number 2. We're in picks and bans of Team Takeover up against Lionel Esports 2. We already had a pretty good game 1 where Team Takeover did what their team name implies and took over the game and won in about 28-29 minutes. Fairly quick, if you ask me, but you know, we're about to get into picks and bans of game 2, and oh, we're already pretty deep into it. We're already into picks. Let's look at that. Adam, you ready?
Yeah, but at the same time, Lux is not banned. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I guess they're really scared of Yaya's Zed a whole lot more because they have 301 games on that character this season. Like, that's a whole lot of practice. But man, was that Lux a whole lot scarier in that previous game. Obviously, they don't want the Kane to go through either. 245 games for Spooky here in this game. There's just a whole lot of one tricks that you really don't want to give their comfort picks over to, which kind of leads into like, oh, oops, now they get Lux as well. It's just a little weird that they're choosing to ban. I feel like at this point I would let the Yuumi go and just ban out the Lux.
I mean, Yuumi is just to give over. Well, Lionel Esports here are switching things up here. Obviously, they want to try and get a little bit more of maybe a stronger champion in their opinion in this bot lane with the Aphelios pickup. Fem might be going back to that Leona, which did do quite well, all things considered. In reality, Lionel Esports had a good game. It's just that this Lux was able to get a couple of good light bindings on that last Baron push, and you know, maybe you don't get hit by one of those and you're able to save that game. But with that Olaf pickup as well, they just want to try and gank the crap out of Yaya in this mid lane and really take advantage. So saving that mid lane pick is quite interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good as well because Olaf is a very good counter to Trundle, right? If Trundle ults you just ult in response and you're just like, yo, nice resistances, punk. What now? Like, you know, there's nothing to take anymore other than, you know, the damage that you're dealing to someone as the thing goes through. But even then, Olaf can heal through it pretty easily as well. So I'm looking to see maybe another. I was looking to see maybe the Thresh to come with the Aphelios because that is just such a very good pairing. But I feel like Leona is good as well. The big thing to me is that if you're going to look for a character like Aphelios who can be pretty autonomous, let Leona roam around the map. Let Leona roam wild. But you know, we didn't see it last game, and that might be the key to victory this game, especially if you want to shut down the Lux in the mid lane.
I think one thing to always keep in mind as well with the Aphelios is that you are so strong once you get to, you know, 2 items as well. So while the Leona might have more agency to roam around the map, when Aphelios has something like Green Gun or a purple flamethrower. Wait, no. Is that
purple
blue?
Is gravity gun.
Yeah, it's blue gun.
Blue is the flamethrower.
They're very
green is
colors.
the sniper rifle.
Yes.
White is the chakrams. Red is the scythe thing. I actually don't know. This is the crescendum. I think that's what it's called.
It's several. It's apparently supposed to be a scythe pistol, which is
dope.
Which is dope, but also makes
you.
absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, considering it's Halloween, you know, it's gonna be Mr. Sir 200 years coming through. So I want to be scared by this Aphelios this game. Lissandra's a good pickup here in the mid lane for Talia Mosalami. Gonna give you some really strong lockdown at level 6 to pair up with that Olaf to potentially shut down this Lux, and has some roaming potential as well. But oh man, we talked about how cold can the jungle get. The answer is absolute 0.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's about as cold as it can get, right? Honest, unless this Lissandra is a jungle Lissandra.
Oh man.
I mean, that's about as cold as it can get. But I definitely like the new pickup here for sure. Definitely a strong initiator and definitely a good zoner to make space for this Caitlyn and Lux as well, and can pair very well with the Seraphine, right? I mean, if you are slowed by the absolute 0, Seraphine can lock you inside the ultimate if she throws out her E, which has a pretty good range to it as well. You know, the only thing for me here is that Team Takeover have drafted a double marksman comp with with an enchanter and a mage, right? So this is a comp that definitely needs to get ahead. They definitely need to be very comfortable with their gold here, because the other team is definitely a little bit more balanced, right? They obviously it's all the eggs are in the Aphelios basket, but the tools are there, to have a more traditional front to back comp here, right? Team Takeover it's just there's just a bunch of very squishy champions that do have the potential to deal lots of damage, but they need to get to that point first.
Yeah, they need to make sure that they are in a position to take over that game, in a sense. When you have something like the Lissandra is effectively your second damage dealer, and you're expecting Olaf to be useful past 20 minutes, you are putting everything in that Aphelios basket, which means that Lionel Esport need to send Ramley and Talemo Salami constantly down to this bot lane, whether it is to get Ant Lemon's Lover kills, or if it's just to buy space to make sure that he can scale into that late game, because Aphelios, once you get to 3-4 items, you're absolutely ridiculous. You can 1v5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Aphelios is really, really strong. It's my favorite AD carry as well, fun fact. But yeah, I mean, I'm personally am a big fan of what Lionel Esports have drafted here. I think Lissandra might be the one that's just a little bit awkward here, because Lissandra to me is the same thing as a Malzahar, right? Whereas like you're waiting for someone to dive into you so that you can immediately put them into the prison, Everfrost them, and then snare them again so you can keep them in place for 1,000,000 years, so that you can give time for your AD carry to really just go ham on the person, whoever Lissandra has CC'd here. But now in this team, Lissandra just has to be a little bit more aggressive, because there's so many ranged champions on Team Takeover that, are going to be pretty far away, that Lissandra's going to have to use that claw fairly aggressively in order to get into the backline, in order to damage Lux, Caitlyn, and Seraphine, right? And for the most part, is not going to do a whole lot against Nunu and Willump, and even to a lesser extent, Graves.
And the hardest thing for this Aphelios Leona to deal with in their lane will not be the range from Caitlyn Seraphine. It's going to be the fact that Nunu is very likely just going red bot lane. That is a legitimate gank path. You just go red buff right into a lane. You look for that early gank with the snowball, and Leona can't stop that easily. If she is directly in the path of the snowball, she's either getting hit by that looking for the stun, or getting hit by that on her way with the Zenith Blade. So she's going to proc at least one stack of that phase rush for the Nunu. If he's level 3 and he has the snowballs, you just continue to chase down with that. And then you're losing your Leona. And if that happens, Ant Lemon's Lover has no way to stay alive in that bot lane. You've always got to be as careful as possible. And it may mean that you have to try and give up the early laning at least until Olaf is level 6, where he can't just run through those snowballs and try and shut down this Caitlyn Seraphine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would love it if Spooky went Predator this game instead of Phase Rush. Just went Predator and Celerity and Water Walking, going to the sorcery tree. It would be awesome. That'd be funny for me, because my two favorite stats in League of Legends are size and movement speed. If you can be really big or go really fast, I will guarantee to laugh every single time. Every single time I'll laugh.
Honestly, I think that movement speed is one of the strongest, just straight up stats in the game. It's alongside, I believe, tenacity, I'm going to say, is one of those other ones that is super underrated. Movement speed is ridiculous, because if you can move faster than your opponent, you get more damage down. It doesn't matter if you are running both in the exact same direction, one towards and one away. Whoever has the more movement speed is going to either live or will live, regardless of whether you're killing someone or taking someone down. So always have to be mindful of that. Nunu's so strong when you can, if you go phase rush, just because when you're in the middle of a fight, you can sort of go in and get out afterwards. But I'm curious to see what Spooky wants to do, because very fitting of Halloween here. Going to be rolling those snowballs down and calling, bringing the Mariah Carey sled in, because, November 1st, you know what that means. And in Canada, we don't have the excuse of, but it's after Thanksgiving. No, it is after Halloween, because there's nothing until Christmas.
Yeah, there really is. And like,
I feel like there's nothing really to do for Thanksgiving, right? Because like the second that October is over, everyone's just like, all right, I hope y'all are ready for red, white, green, and Mariah Carey, baby. Let's go. Like, because like there's no like Thanksgiving music. You know what I mean? There's nothing like, oh, let's. I'm trying to make up a Thanksgiving song off the top of my head, but yeah, you're mostly right here. But
Let's
to
watch
get back to the
football
game,
and eat a turkey.
let's watch football, eat a turkey, do 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 do. Yell at your grandparents for being a little problematic, do 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 do. Family dinner, da 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 da.
Uncle is here and he had one too many beers. Do do do, and the aunt has to drive him home, but it's 2 hours away. Da, da, da,
Da
da.
da 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 da. But yeah,
Sign
Nuno
us
and
to a
Willem.
record deal. Sign us to a record deal.
Now bringing you the greatest hits of Adam and Shinkari. The tunes that electrified generation.
But yeah, Nuno wants to bring Christmas in, and Olaf is basically saying no. There's still Thanksgiving to go. He wants to bring the turkey. He wants to eat. He's angry.
I mean, he does have the butcher skin, yeah? Doesn't he have a meat skin?
Yeah, he does. But if you're using a meat tenderizer on your turkey, I am going to make your turkey this year if that is the case, because please don't do that. My goodness, if it ever gets anywhere near there.
Before we give you any more Thanksgiving facts and or songs, we are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're not going to be doing either of those things. We're going to be casting some League of Legends on the Rift of game number 2 of Team Takeover versus Lionel Esports 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 9. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by RareAdam. We're on the Rift of Lionel Esports 2 versus Team Takeover. Team Takeover's on the blue side. Lionel Esports number 2 is on the red side. They're down a game, but they're ready to prove themselves and continue to fight regardless. We have a 5-point start from both sides. Adam, are you ready?
I am ready to go. I'm excited to see what these two teams have in store in Game 2. We had a pretty interesting Game 1, all things considered. Got to give credit to Lionel Esports 2 for giving a really good mid-game there where it was basically even, but just a couple of really strong plays, sort of coin flip plays in a way, from every time I think of TT, I think of Thunder Talk Gaming from the LPL. So I need to try and think. Team Takeover, they were able to take over, put fate into their own hands, and really make a good case for themselves in that those last 3 minutes of Game 1.
Yeah, and I think they've made a decent set of changes here. They've also held on to the Lux and the Caitlyn, which were pretty good from the previous series as well. I'm definitely liking the Nunu pickup here, and the Graves in the top lane is, I think, a little bit better than the Riven, just because you don't really need to commit as much to fights as the Graves as you would with a Riven, right? So just having that little bit of range means that they're going to be just a little bit safer in some of these engages on their enemy.
Yeah, and I think that being as safe from these engages as possible is the best thing that you can hope for. Is and Lamont's Lover doing the thing that Shinkari loves, which is not using too much green gun early.
Yes. I'm the pickiest person when it comes to watching people play Aphelios. I will watch people, and if they don't get rid of red gun first, I actually get at least a little tilted. I'm just like, come on, please. I
think
if you throw away green gun first,
Oh, no.
it means that you're going to have green-white later, not red-white. But that's going to be the claw coming across from Monsieur Amitalia. She's going to be going underneath turret. Going to be A-okay, but a pretty successful gank, I'd say, from Nunu coming in from the jungle here. As it's probably going to be a continuation of what we're going to see more and more from Nunu.
Yeah, and while red-white is better for those 1v1s, green-white's good for the Reddit combos where you drop down the Chakram turret and you're able to stack those up. But regardless, yes, Angry Walk is significantly better to use early game as opposed to using your sniper rifle.
Yes. And plus, you really want... Okay, wait a minute. Kekja in the top lane here. Corey
didn't get the axe.
Just has to dash backwards. Going to walk back, pick up the undertow, and throw the recast back again as... Oh my god, Yaya's really looking for an engage right here. Not so much that Snare's going to do against a ranged character here. Going to use that claw. Bait out Yaya just a little bit here, but they're still going to be able to get some good damage here. Going to flash over the wall. Yaya's still looking for more. Here comes Nunu. They're so fast. E through the bush. That's going to be Lux picking up the first kill in the mid lane.
And Romley up on his top side also having a little bit of a rough time against the Graves. This is kind of the strength of Graves in the early game. You're just able to stack up your True Grit so easily in this lane because it is a Malphite. He does do magic damage, but it's the auto attacks and the damage from minions that gets affected by that armor to an extent, so you want to try and stack that up. Kekja's going to try and come back. It needs to make sure that the first undertow lands and you're able to pick it up in a good spot. Otherwise, the ganks aren't successful, but here goes.
Yeah, here we go. That's going to be the undertow thrown across. Like you said, it's in a good spot, but I don't think they're looking for the reset this time. They're just going to want to pick up the flash here. Them trying to aggress forward, but realizes she's about to walk onto a trap here, so backs away. So SEL's going to be able to get some good poke damage here and not going to get a whole lot of response.
Yeah, and I think that despite Corey using that flash up on that top side, Graves is in a really good spot here. A big part of how Graves top works is the fact that it's able to shred through tanks really well once you get into the mid and late game. And even though it may not seem like it, Graves, when they build that Cyril does, when they build, those armor shred items, will start to do a whole bunch of damage to the likes of this Malphite. Oh.
Yeah, as Fem is going to engage here, might have to be a little bit more committed to it than they'd like, as Spooky is fighting out Kekja here. 1v1, the Nunu actually doing pretty well for themselves. Lux around the corner as well, still looking for the Olaf here. Going to use that blast cone to hop them over the wall and get them closer to the Gromp that they were trying to get earlier.
And Nunu has been able to keep up decently well in terms of the farming. Normally you expect Nunus to be just power farming until level 6. Both junglers a little bit slow on that, but overall should be feeling pretty good about this in the end.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, usually we talk about Nunu and the first thing that comes to mind is power farming, but I feel like especially with the rework that was done to Nunu like quite a while ago, he's definitely a lot more of a ganking jungler now. His style is just completely different because it's no longer make the enemy jungler just as useless as you are, right? You have these powerful ganks, and Nunu's looking for right here. Aphelios is gonna have to pop that summoner heal here as they're now trapped underneath the turret. Nunu might be going down here. They're gonna take that turret shot after flashing away. It's a 1 for 0, but not in the way that Nunu was hoping for.
And unfortunately for the Nunu, getting caught out under that tower, taking one too many tower shots, and it's sort of the flip side of what we were talking about. You know, the snowball lands, but it doesn't hit onto the Leona. And as...
That's a whole lot of damage. Flash forward, auto attack. Yaya's going to be picking up a kill, and that means that the blue squad is going to be looking to pick up this dragon now. Not a whole lot of contest from the red squad here, so going to be able to grab a decent chunk of damage for themselves as Corey definitely dealing some damage to Ramley in the top lane here.
I was about to make a point about how in this lane you want to hit the Leona as opposed to the Aphelios with the initial snowball so that you can get on top of the Aphelios after without getting CC'd to death. That's sort of what happened there. Leona was able to get all of her crowd control down without getting knocked up herself, and made Spooky pay for that. But yeah, picking one up on the back end of that is, oh my goodness, Fem is fast.
Yeah, Fem is going to be able to pick up that, the mobility boots for sure. Yeah, going to pick up that ward there, going to be able to clear out some vision on in their jungle here. Going to make Olaf's time just a little bit safer as Nunu returns to their half of the map here. The red buff, both the buffs has respawn, so I just predict that Nunu is just going to be in this jungle for a little bit, as Yaya may be looking to reset here after throwing out that ultimate.
Yeah, really strong thus far on this Lux. Down a little bit of CS compared to the Lissandra, but should be able to back here, pick up that Lost Chapter plus a little bit. Dark Seal, there's a good option. Still has all 3 cookies as well, so has the potential that with this Lost Chapter can just stay in lane forever to an extent. We'll be able to pick up a blue buff most likely, donated over by Spooky at some point. And, you know, there's no fear for this Lux in this lane now, apart from Olaf getting a really proactive gank, but Yaya still has Ghost, so still has the ability to walk themselves out of that one.
Yeah, I also did want to mention that really quickly. Yaya not opting for the teleport, just really sticking with the Ghost, so double combat summoners here for the Lux. I think it's relatively fine. We have seen a lot of Luxes go Ghost. It's just, you know, after seeing the meta of 5s shape out to being like, hey, it's best to have double TPs for your solo laners. You know, it just sometimes feels bad to see double combat sums for your mid laner.
Yeah, having double combat summoners to be able to walk faster is good. Kekja's in trouble.
Yeah, that's going to be a good snare. Absolute Zero's coming across as well, and Spooky 1013 is going to be picking up the kill in that bot lane, in that mid lane there over Kekja. Talia Mansul Ami, my only friend, is not going to be able to really answer that push really at all. So that's going to be a Rift Herald going over the blue squad here.
And Yaya able to get Dark Seal stack off of that as well. This Olaf still level 5, and it kind of turns back to all of those failed gank attempts on that top side. Unable to pick up anything. Didn't really get too much. And ooh.
Oh yeah, Nunu's in some trouble here. That's going to be the Unstoppable Force and the Frozen Tomb as well. It's definitely a good pickup, but a whole lot was spent here. I think Corey's looking pretty good about diving in here, and Yaya's looking for the engage onto Talia here, taken pretty low. Does have that final spark, so the second that they go fairly low, going to look over to where the claw is. That's going to be the final spark. Nowhere to go. Killing spree for the Lux.
Just always getting those ultimates down at the very end. Great aim coming through from Yaya to not really try and predict too much in that sense. Just, you know, aiming where they know the Lissandra will be, and there's nowhere for Talia Mosulami to be able to get out. So 3-0 and 1 onto Yaya once again. I feel like you just have to try and ban that out and risk the Yumi, because this Lux is absolutely incredible coming through from Yaya.
Yeah, I mean, if that's how it ends up happening, right there won't be another opportunity to ban away the Lux here, as now we're starting to look at about 10.5 minutes into this game here. up about 1.8 thousand gold. Team Takeover is looking to have a repeat performance.
And thus far, you know, Yaya's had a repeat performance. Spooky, despite a couple of isolated deaths here, hasn't been doing too badly. Did pick up that first Rift Herald as well. Believe just dropped it on the top side, so they're going to try and get Corey out of this lane and around the map and effectively be a second jungler. There's a reason why Graves is good in the jungle, because he has good ganks.
Yeah, and speaking of good ganks, that's going to be the biggest snowball ever coming onto Ramley here. That's going to be the Undertow trying to get across, but they really don't have a way to interrupt this absolute zero here. That's going to be Corey nearly taking down here as Ramley's going to splash forward. They have a teleport coming in from Talia here. Corey might be in some trouble. That's the Frozen Tomb coming across. Corey walks into it, going to take a bit of damage here. They're trying to heal back. That's a decent consume, but now they're looking for the return damage. Not going to be able to find it, but that's a Lissandra goes chasing after you, Graves. Double kill for the Ice Witch.
Yeah, and Lissandra able to pick up 2 there, but really well played from Corey to be able to salvage at least a kill on the back end of that. And in the meantime, Yaya just stayed mid and got a plate off of that. They get first tower. They've opened up the map for this Graves, who now has a shield bow and merc treads. That's really good compared to what Malphite has right now.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of CC on a Yaya as well. That's going to be a flash forward, unstoppable force. Yaya is really running for their lives here. That's going to be the Seraphine ultimate picking up the kill on the Malphite here. They're really looking to shut down the Lux really, really hard, and they still cannot get to her. Man. Holy moly.
Yeah, Lux is zooming. She's just...
I'm fast as F, boy.
Yeah.
I'm fast as F.
Yeah, you haven't seen anyone as fast as me. But just sprinting out of that one and, you know, give her the gold medal. You know, she may be Elementalist Lux. Obviously, she doesn't have that gold in her arsenal quite yet, but she says gold is good, and she picked up a decent amount of gold off of that one.
Yeah, holy moly. Ionia's definitely in a whole lot of trouble here. The rest of the team is trying to teleport in, but Aphelios does have red-white. There's no slouch at this point. Does some decent chunks of damage. They're trying to get away from the Aphelios, actually. Now they're looking to re-engage this fight. They were trying to steal the blue buff, but now they're in some trouble. And Lamon's Lover is going to be able to pick up a kill for themselves. It's now for 2-0 around the Dragon Pit half of the map here. And now they're looking for Spooky here. Undertow lands. Kekja is going to pop that Ragnarok. Not going to be disabled this time, but they're still trying to get to them. Can't be slowed when they're rolling up the biggest snowball ever. They're still looking for it. Undertow comes across, but you can't stop the Willump train, as now Corey's in some trouble. The rest of the red team is coming through here. Spooky is eating some flowers, eating some berries around the corner here as they're looking for the Empire play. They get a bunch of damage, but they're not going to be able to find a kill. Claw comes across. They're not going to be able to land the CC onto this slippery the Yeti, but finally the Undertow is going to be able to pick up the kill this time. Keksha picks up the kill as Ramley still looking for Corey up in this top half of the map. A decent chunk of damage. They're coming over the wall. Here comes Keksha. Throws out the Undertow. Lands the snare. There's the lifeline shield. They're going to be able to turn it around and pick up a kill. Glacial Tomb will be your prison this time. Shut down onto the Graves, but the blue team wants more. This fight just keeps going. You want to test my stamina? Let's go. Ramley's right here. Ioniana's looking for the kill. Already puts down a couple of traps trying to look for the second half of this kill right here. Ramley is in some trouble, stuck in the corner here, but that's going to be an immediate re-engage. Final Spark comes across, but lands onto no one. The Lissandra Ghost is going to pop on top of Seraphine now as here comes Yaya. Throws at the late binding, throws at the E, lands neither. Can they turn this around? They start to run for their lives here. Talia is running for their... Talia is so slow there. Only has those tier 1 boosts. Going to be snared up. Lux picks up the shutdown.
Is it over? I think it's over. Oh my goodness.
I think it's over.
Yeah, that fight lasted quite literally a minute and a half. They went all the way.
They went all the way across the map too,
and just went all the way up towards topside. And a lot of that just has to do with the fact that Spooky's so slippery. But regardless, I can't count the kills off the end of that. Team Takeover.
Yeah, don't even worry about it.
They're still in the lead. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty similar lead because they got some shutdowns and then they gave some shutdowns back. Regardless, Yaya had so much time there that they died. They had a decently long death timer, were able to get back up there, walk all the way up, and get the kill onto Lissandra. So that just speaks to it. But main points is that Lissandra getting a whole lot of gold off of that. Talia Moselami now 4-4-3, building towards that second item. You know, even though Lux is falling a little bit behind her curve, at least in terms of gold, they're even, but Looking at the rest of the map, it is Graves and Nunu who are really supplementing the rest of that damage for this side, or the rest of that gold lead for the side of Team Takeover, as they're trying to take more towers once again, trying to play that proactive macro game.
Yeah, it's now Spooky throwing out that biggest snowball ever into the mid lane here, and Lamont's Lover gonna try to defend this bot lane here against Corey. I think I would say that they have a pretty decent matchup. They're doing some good damage, but they're 3 levels behind. They're about tied in items. Maybe Corey having a little bit more, but it's mostly the levels that's worrying me here. As Ramley up in the top lane here was gonna eat some damage from Spooky, but definitely turn it around here in the bot lane. Okay, yeah, just some trade back and forth.
Yeah, going to be trading a little bit of damage back and forth, but Entlemon's Lover really not set to face up against this Graves. This Graves, 3-2-1 has that threaded Dirk now. So, more fighting though. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. That's going to be a Seraphine Ultimate coming across. The Glacial Tomb is not going to be anyone's prison this time. And that's going to be a Solar Flare interrupting the Absolute Zero. Fem is actually taken pretty low here. Final Spark comes across, but not going to be able to find any kills at a time. Unstoppable Force as a re-engage is going to be able to find the kill onto Caitlyn after picking up the kill on Nunu now, but Ramley's got nowhere to go. The last auto attack and the passive proc makes a triple kill for Lux in the top half of the map.
Yep, 10 stacks now, so Yaya doing as well, if not better than last game, and it's starting to gum off the rails once again for the side of Lionel Esport. At this point, last game, they were within striking distance. They were up in kills, actually, and Yaya hadn't really been unlocked as this is an interesting Herald take. They're taking a lot of damage from this.
Yeah, they're taking a pretty long while, too.
They got it, but...
Yeah, they got it eventually.
At this point, 5,500 gold lead in favor of this this Team Takeover side, and now with another Rift Herald to put down before this next dragon, they're looking at Soul Point, and that's the power of Nunu. You have so much early objective control with this champion, and when you have a mid laner as capable as Yaya, who's working on that second item already here, alongside that 10-stack Dark Seal, it's really hard to take away any objectives from this Team Takeover side.
Yeah, especially with Lux just threatening the ability to steal it. Nunu as well, right, can just walk in with the consume. And speaking of walking in, that's going to be an engage right here on a Kekja, forced to flash away. Corey is here in response. Here is SEL as well. The whole squad is here. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, everyone is here. But someone has to make a decision about what they, including Sora, as they have to make a decision about where they're going, because Shelly is pushing the mid lane right now. Either you're going to fight around Drake or you're going to stop the mid push. Ramley has gone over the wall with the blast cone, but it doesn't look like the rest of the team wants to engage right here, as a whole lot of damage was done to that mid turret right there. Shelly finally does go down, and so does the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, able to pick themselves. They got the move up too, man. But yeah, they're on Soul Point at this point. It's really good for the side of TT here, and the only people who are going TT after this one is the side of Lionel Esports. They're crying in the club right now, unfortunately.
Yeah,
down 6,000 gold, and it's the point I was making earlier. If you have an Olaf on your team, you've got to win before 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's going to be a Seraphine Ultimate coming across here. That's going to be the biggest snowball ever as well. Going to knock them into the air, but not a whole lot of damage in response. But Corey's going to be the one picking up the kill. Final Spark, huge. Coming across are 2 members here. They're not looking for the remaining damage onto Aphelios here, who's taking incredibly low. Tries to use the Q for the red gun, but not going to be able to secure any kills for themselves. As Ace in the hole comes across. Fenton looks to block it, but was too far away. Olaf goes down. Double kill for the Caitlyn, and they get the mid turret as well. They do have a bit of a wave. Can get some damage onto this tertiary turret here as Graves pushes in the top, but they might have to rotate up there because it's going to be a little while before. Okay,
never mind.
Okay. Okay, they're staying here. Graves is splitting top. They have a 3-1 split right now.
Yeah, and even though Nunu says I'll save you, Willump, I'll save you, Sag. Able to set up that play really well. Great snowball to set up, and Malphite just wasn't able to get any value in that fight. Tanked up that, I believe, died in the middle of that Unstoppable Force. I did not see that go down and hit anyone, and if it hit anyone, it was only onto Spooky, which is not your priority target. And then Antlemon's Lover gets rooted up, gets taken down by this Lux so early on into that fight. You can see, so confident on this champion, picked up the Magi's, picked up the Horizon Focus. This is a scary Lux right now, because she's going to get stronger without having to buy items now with that Magi's in stock.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that this is the items. This is the items that that Yaya had in the last game when they were popping off, right? When we saw those final sparks doing so much damage. This is pretty much what the inventory looked like for Lux. I struggled to think of anything else that they had at that point, right? So this is definitely going to be strong, just as strong, if not stronger, especially with that Magi's as well.
Yeah, the Magi's just it's sort of a status item in some ways. It says, listen, I'm strong and you can't kill me. It's throwing down the gauntlet. It's sort of the ego item. It is the ego item. Now that sort of a cult is not in the game. Oh my goodness, that would have been
okay. Wow, that was a scream. Hi.
Listen, I'm LS for Halloween. That's what I am.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never heard you scream like that, so I was just taken a little aback by it.
The power of casters' voices. We are quite versatile.
Yeah. As we take a look back at the game here, Graves is splitting in the top lane, but the blue team doesn't really have an angle. But this might be the angle right here. Nunu looks for the biggest snowball ever. Not going to be able to land anything right now. Looking for the snare, can't quite find it. But now the team is going to enter into the fight. Huge Seraphine ultimate comes across, but only lands onto one person. Ramley is now in the fight. Does have that unstoppable force available, but the blue team has to be ready for the engage. It's a 4v5. Corey is making their way back down, but is walking back up to the top lane. Looks like they're looking to split here. Olaf is now on the top. Let's see if they're able to find and engage, because anything could be very strong. Oh,
that's a lot of damage.
So much damage onto Lissandra.
Yeah, Taliamo Salamid still has the Frozen Tomb to be able to survive if necessary, but my goodness.
Here comes
no Ragnarok.
Yeah, biggest snowball ever. That's a whole lot of burst damage coming down from Corey here, as that's going to take this opportunity in the mid lane. That blue ultimate from Aphelios does so much damage. Lux finally goes down. Ayana's looking to try to get away from this team here, but one by one, the blue team is falling here. Corey has finally joined the fight in the mid part of the map here. Ayana might look for a re-engage as well. Ace in the hole comes across, going to be able to pick up the kill into Leona. That's big. Corey's now looking to survive in a 1v2. Ayana's joining the fight here, as here comes Nunu, biggest snowball ever, looking to ram into Ramley. Gonna land the snowball, but the damage isn't there. Dash forward, it hits the turret. The auto attacks are blocked. Corey's underneath the turret. He goes down. It's a 3 for 5. Olaf has now respawned and is looking to defend these inhibitors, as now the blue squad is looking for just a whole lot of the red team base.
And something I've actually learned about Graves' auto attacks that will really make you scratch your head. It acts... they've coded it the same way as Akshan Ultimate, so this is how I know this interaction. If they hadn't taken that tier 2 turret on the bot side and the tier 3 turret was invulnerable, Graves' auto attacks would have gone through the tower and killed Malphite. Because that's how Akshan Ultimate works. If you can't do damage to the tower, it just goes through it. But speaking of damage, this soul's gonna go down.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to smite steal away from a Nunu, right? Consume plus smite. Oh, wait a minute. Corey's here. That's gonna be the Zenith Blade, and that's gonna be stunned up as well. Seraphine ultimate comes across, not going to land on a whole lot here, but Fem is taken incredibly low here. PMA TT Ya is gonna be the one picking up the kill, and after the Ocean Soul. So right now it's a 1 for 0, and it looks like they're marching over to Baron.
Yeah, I'll call this Lux, instead of calling them I'll call them Yeet, because they've just been throwing out those ultimates, doing so much damage. Did lose stacks on the Magi's, unfortunate in that last fight, but Corey was just able to deal so much damage with this Graves. Now 3 items here. You cannot stop this side of Team Takeover. They have taken over the map here, and it's not their second Baron. This is their first Baron. At just under 25 minutes here, they're looking to end the game, and they've got a 10,000 gold lead now. That's the last whisper picked up for Graves. Now you gotta run. You gotta be real careful about these fights now. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely looking to be a game-winning push here. They have Dragon Soul. They have Baron buff. They're ahead nearly exactly 10,000 gold. Like, this is the recipe for success right here. They even have the Fey Lux. Look at that. That's pretty cute. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little purple, little fairy wings there. It's pretty cute. Okay, well, that was certainly a sound you made with your mouth.
I mean, it's better than the edgy Lux, which is just fade every time. And there's the other one where it sounds like
I wasn't talking about the thing that Lux said. I was talking about the sound you made.
I am using my Lux voice here. Okay.
Yeah.
One.
Why don't you
know
you should leave it to the Lux voice actress, honestly. I think they do a pretty good job. We have fun here. We have jokes.
No, I know there's one where she says Demacia, but it sounds like dementia, and I haven't been able to unhear it since. So
isn't that just her base skin though?
I think it's one of the elements. It might be on 2 elements though. I don't know.
We do the reason we're a little slowing down right now is because it's just the blue team is just they have Baron buff, right? So it's just going to be a siege after siege, right? With these waves here, they can keep pushing in all they want, and they can play relatively safe. They don't have to engage. The onus right now is on Lionel Esports to do the engage, and that's going to be an unstoppable force here after the final spark has gone down. Absolute Zero is coming across, might do some decent chunks of damage, but not going to take anyone down right now. Lux finally goes down to the end of all that. That's going to be the Ragnarok coming across. This is 2 kills picked up by Graves. Going to throw out that ultimate, pick up a 3rd. Can they look for more? They're looking for the Nexus instead. Ace in the hole comes across. Fem taken incredibly low. Curry dashes forward. Quadra kill. Can you get the pentakill? Lemons is going to be taken incredibly low, but you better flame your team because they're not going to give you even the opportunity to get the pentakill because they're just going to end the game at 27-18.
Yeah, you know what? They were looking out for a score, finished 12-3-4, 1-2-3-4. Count them up because that Graves was just picking off bodies one by one. We talked so much about Yaya throughout that game, but Corey was able to build leads in that top lane, was able to transition them around the map extremely well. And, you know, Team Takeover really deserving of that victory. They played a great series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was just really, really well played by them. And hats off to Lionel Esports too as well. I think that they played fairly well from behind. I just think the snowball, you know, no pun intended, was just way too large from team man, I'm already blanking on the name, excuse me, Team Takeover. Yeah, it was just way too tough to get back into this game at that point. Like, there were very few avenues that they could go back into it. Like, Yaya was going a little greedy with their positioning, and they did have the tools in order to shut them down and pick up some decent gold for themselves. But it was just really, really tough position to come back from, and you know, not a whole lot of teams can come back from a position like that. But they still did a very good job regardless.
Yeah, and regardless, I think that Lionel Esports, they have some really strong things to look at there. You know, game 1, early mid-game was extremely well played. They had some good attempts at some fights later on into that game. Ramley had a great series overall, but Corey just really showing up on this Graves in game 2. And Yaya's Lux, man, it's, you see that said in the history, and like, yeah, we should ban that. You know, with Zed, if you're playing Lissandra, you take that every day of the week. The Lux, a little harder.
Yeah, for sure. But that's going to do it from us here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. From myself, the entire live broadcast crew, RareAdam, my producer and co-caster for this series. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. We have League of Legends action for y'all every week and nearly every day for y'all to watch from games of teams from every single rating you could possibly imagine. We got it here at Style Esports. And if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button as well. But from everyone here, thank you all so much, and have a
spooky Halloween.
Ooh. Bye.